This is Babylon, ancient Egypt, Rome, Sodom and Gomorrah, and Nineveh multiplied by 1,000, all existing in one geographical location. It's a 2,000 by 3,000 square mile hell. That's what America is. America is Satan's headquarters. This is where the evil is rooted at and where it's spread all over the world. So, you know, we gotta come out. We hostages right now. We got to come on out of this thing. As the scripture says, come out of her, my people, that you be not partaker of her sins and her plagues. So as long as we stay among them and we participate and do the evil that they are tempting us to do, we're going to get the judgment that they're going to receive. That's why the minister is who he is. He's God's man raised to try to warn us and say, look, come on out of her, my people. We so messed up, though, that as Pharaoh yesterday with Moses went to Pharaoh and said, Pharaoh, let my people go. We're so messed up that the minister has to come to black people and say, look, my people, let Pharaoh go. He don't even have us no more. We got him. We got a bad Stockholm syndrome or battered woman syndrome. We got plantation psychosis.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, that's what they called it.
Yes, sir.
As soon as Black Americans started to get to the truth of our real history, the future for all of these other people has really started to look very dark. The more that we come into the truth of who we are, the more trouble these other nations seems to be in. That goes for North, South, Central America, Africa, Europe. Like, y'all are really breaking down the more we are building ourselves up. And that does not go unnoticed. Because I vividly remember when black people were first starting to really wake up in like this millennia, like, you know, in the 2010s, this new awakening for black people was really finding out who we were. And a lot of it started with us realizing like the real Egyptians were black. The Moors were actually black because they were saying that the Moors weren't black. They were saying that they was mixed with all it. There was a time. So it's like we've uncovered so many truths that now we're actually to the actual truth. So like, how soon people forget that the Egyptians was white 10 years ago? That was a general consensus that the Egyptians were white. So let's not act like, oh, everybody always knew this. We always knew everybody. No, you didn't. Now that fast forward to 2025, last year, when I started to really see the delineation, it's all because we actually found out, oh, so we're actually always been here. We weren't over there in Africa. We weren't doing all of that. That wasn't us. We were actually already here. As soon as we did that, oh, now all of a sudden the whole world went fucking crazy. This world has not been the same since.
The reality of the awakening is so much different than what I thought it was going to be. The way that women are awakening and ascending is way different than the way that men are awakening and ascending. How black women, white women, people of color in general, our awakening looks different because our journeys are different. Our stories are different. Looking back, I laugh because the way that we were talking about the ascension 15 years ago is like we really thought that there was just going to be a moment of time and everybody was just going to come into a higher consciousness all at the same time. No. The difference in our experience of awakening makes perfect sense. We live on the same planet, but our paths are just very different. What we experience is very different. So as a black woman, my awakening directly relates to my experience as a black woman and the patterns and programs that I have to shed because of that. And every single identity is laced with these patterns and programs, low vibrational patterns and programs that are meant to keep us asleep and unaware and drained and unhappy and servile. Ooh, my ear started ringing. And what makes even more sense is that we are entering an era of
Grand Rising, everyone. How are you doing? I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. And as you know, I'm your host and presenter Zindoc Stories. Now, there is one thing that I would like to say. You know, it's always good giving people their flowers while they are still alive. One thing with us human beings is that we have the habit of giving people their flowers once they're gone. That's when people realize that, oh, so this person was so much important. So this person did this, did that, right? I like to say that I'm grateful for the gift of life. I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for the day that God has granted unto us. Now, going straight to today's topic, I like to say, maybe I've said this sometimes a while, but still like to say that I'm really proud of black people, and I'm really proud of what black people have become over the time, because black people are now putting people in their place. They are putting people and they are trading people how they should have done long time ago. Understand that black people right now are trying to avoid problems. Black people are trying to avoid getting things that doesn't serve them. Perfect case scenario is what just recently happened. And what really recently happened? What recently happened is black people not getting into supporting Trump with whatever he was doing to like Iran. And black people played a great role in calling out the Trump administration and also reminding Trump white voters and generally white voters who voted for Trump for bringing this mess to the United States. And one thing that I know is that people have always wanted black people to go on the street, but black people didn't give them that chance. Trump somehow tried to bring black people or get black people into this mess, but that's saying that they are not joining a war, they're not joining a party that they were not invited. Black people didn't play part in voting for Mr. Donald Trump, so why would they support Mr. Donald Trump in the things that he does? And even if you just leave Donald Trump, look at how right now black people are dealing with Latinos, immigrants, all these other people. They have decided that they are keeping their energy for themselves. And this marks one of the wisest decisions that black Americans have ever made. And if you think that black Americans are never smart, they are smart, because as time goes by, they keep on proving it, they keep on showing it, and they are telling the world that this is what we are capable, this is what we are doing. So brothers and sisters, I'm gonna let you watch the video, and then I'll be back. I'll be sharing my thoughts in regards to this. I'm really proud of black people. I'm really proud of my brothers and sisters in the United States, and how cautious they are getting, how smarter they are getting with time with the decisions that they made. Because initially these people, they took advantage of black people, but right now black people are telling them, you know what, we're never gonna join you in doing the things that you wanna do. So let's watch the video. I'm gonna be back.
Individuality, the era of the individual. And we're leaving an era of industry, of mass systems, of collective structures. We're going from an era where as an individual you have to fit into a certain mold and in order to be able to survive, really, into an era where there is no mold and where the individuality in you is your personal mode of currency. So yes, while we are all one and we're all the same, you know, on like a molecular level, the way you ascend is based on who you are, how you've lived, how you identify, and how you've been conditioned. I'm blessed to be in a position where I get to watch this with my clients and my customers, and it really is fascinating because every lived experience, every lineage, every intersection carries a key that unlocks a very specific piece to this planetary awakening.
What kills me the most is that I remember a time when a lot of Black Americans were kind of hopping on like the Pan-African movement. You know, a lot of us were like, yeah, like, you know, Pan-African, you know, I'm African-American, you know, however, just, you know, like actually repping Africa, saying like, yeah, like, you know, these are our roots, this is where we're from. And then I simply remember people making videos going, African-Americans are saying that they're from Africa, but like, from where? Africa is a whole continent. So how are you claiming that you're a whole continent? There's different countries in Africa. So where in Africa are you guys from? Because you can't just say African. And I remember that messing me up for like a while, because I'm like, well, how are we supposed to know? Because there was erasure, so we don't know where from Africa. And I mean, I guess some people like kind of judge it up to like West Africa, Sierra Leone, or Nigeria. However, you know, that's the speculation, I guess. But during that time, a lot of people were like, you can't just say like you're African American. And it was like, okay. Then we got stigma for calling ourselves Black. Well, Black is a color. That's not like a race or like an ethnic group. So why are you calling yourself Black? Like what is Black? I don't understand what Black is. What's Black? And it was like, that's how we identify ourselves. Oh, with a color? Now the fight is, a lot of us are saying, you know what? I think we actually might be indigenous. I think there's a good case that, you know, a lot of our families are the Native Americans that were here. And now it's, well, where's the proof of that? What tribes? What language? Where do you get this from? Why all of a sudden now you're stripped, like you're like dropping away from Africa, and now like you're saying that like you're from America? Like, so like, what's the proof? And what pisses me off the most about this, besides the straight disrespect of like our elders, because when you look at other religions, I mean, other cultures, and I mean, even religion too, but like when you look at like other cultures from like, different people, there's one common denominator. It's the elders. The elders hold the wisdom. The elders are the ones that tell you where you come from. I mean, hell, before paper was a thing, you had verbal knowledge. Orally, they told you, oh, this is what our family did. This is where our family's from. So why is it that when it comes to Black Americans, now all of a sudden our elders, their word means shit? Like, oh, don't say that your grandma said that she was Indian, because that doesn't count. And I don't know, like, it just seems like there's like a war against Black Americans right now, because we're standing 10 toes down and we're like, you know what, we're not going to let you guys bully us into saying where we're from or what you want to help fix your narrative. If you want to think that Black Americans are pretendians, then think that quietly. Shut the fuck up and just let Black Americans do what they want to do. Like, let them identify how they want to identify, because y'all sit there and go, y'all lost. Y'all have no culture. Y'all don't have anything. Y'all dirty. Like, but yet y'all still care about how we identify ourselves. Y'all care. And a lot of us are doing the paper trail. Since y'all want paper, a lot of us are doing paper trail. And I can sit there and I can tell you, my grandmother, my great-grandmother too, they have never said that they were from Africa. They never said that their families were from Africa. They said that they had roots here. And you know, the major common denominator is that a lot of Black Americans like have that Southern family at some point, whether they, you know, migrated to different parts, but a lot of it did start in the South. And a lot of us are all saying the same thing without really knowing each other. So it's just kind of like, but yeah, it's just like, no, y'all pretendians, y'all want to steal other people's cultures because y'all have no culture. Y'all want to steal other people's identity and stuff like that. And no, I'm all for it. Like, foundational Black Americans, like, y'all want to call yourselves indigenous, y'all want to call yourselves Native Americans, y'all want to call yourselves Black Americans, I don't care. Like, however it makes it feel good to you. But I think it's so weird that like people are like going insane to try to like prove Black Americans wrong, like, or to just say like, no, like, that's not right because you don't want to. I mean, let's face it, America is not a white country. So I mean, Black people were everywhere. Like, whether they migrated from Africa or not, they still were everywhere. So I just, I don't know. I just feel like some people need to understand the term erasure, because, you know, they feel like, where's the paper? I don't know. They erased it. I mean, that's crazy when you take a group of people and, you know, you strip them of their name, and then, you know, you move them around, you're selling off families in all different areas, and then you sit there and go, you don't have no identity. You have no culture.
Again, Mr. President, you are doing a phenomenal job. You know, I'm out in public, you know, wearing my, because a lot of people, they don't understand. See, I'm not wearing this from the worldly perspective. I'm wearing this hat from the spiritual perspective, right? Black Americans are the real Jews from the same tribe as Jesus Christ. So I understand Trump is Pharaoh and the Most High is using him for the will of BLACK right? Now here's the thing. Hispan NICs. Where the hell was all of this solidarity and we all need to be one and we're together? Where was all of it? Where were you guys when they were sicking DOGs on us and all of this stuff? And, you know, where were you guys in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, the 10s? And now we're in the 20s. And now all of a sudden, y'all feel a shift. Y'all feel a shift. And the shift is, the BS is no longer happening to the NIGGAs. It's happening to y'all. So now it's happening to y'all. Now it's like, okay, solidarity, and yeah, we're in this together, and right, oh, we're gonna remember this, and all of this other stuff. All this other stuff, right? Because, you know, like I said in my previous video, The reason why they're not asking Asians, Middle East, Africans, right? Even white TPPL, those are y'all people. Like, y'all sided with them. Like, right? Y'all not asking them. The reason why they're asking BLACK Americans is because they know we are God's chosen people. Deuteronomy 7:6 above all people. They know the actual power is with us. But guess what? They want to take that power and use it, right? To then turn around and use it for their will, so they can keep us subjected, so they can continue to be here and be above us and take all our jail base, because that's what they were. That's why Esau had them here for. Economics, right? Economics. So we wouldn't have access to all of these businesses, loans, job. You know, if none of, I said in my previous video, if none of them were HERE, bro, we would have access. You know, all of it, all of it. They are a BURDAN. This is why when I hear other reprobated BLACK Americans talking about, yeah, I stand in solidarity, and well, yeah, you can go with them. You go with them. You can go with Psalms 83, right? Because we understand now that Esau, the umbrella of Esau, is all nations. Esau is not just white TPPL. That's just them. Esau is everybody who followed them. The spirit of Esau. Esau is my BLACK American homegirl from years ago, who, when I tried to tell her she was an Israelite, she looked at me dead in my face and said, Larry, I don't believe that. Nor do I want to believe that. She's Esau. She's the spirit of Esau. Esau is my other friend. When I tried telling her, I'm like, yeah, you know, she did with Jehovah's Witness, you know, you're an Israelite, right? You know, black American. And she looked me dead in my eyes and she said, black people are not not Israel. She's Esau. Yeah, she got the same color as me, but she's Esau. So we understand it's the whole banner of all of that, right? But no, see, here's the thing. And people talking about, oh, see, y'all voted for this, and if it was Kamala, bro, y'all from, first of all, Kamala, TRUMP, they all the same team. Red, blue, same team, bro. Psalms 83, same team. But y'all don't understand that they're not controlling shit no more. The God of Israel is moving because time is up for Psalms 83. You know what Psalms 83 is? Psalms 83 is the entire world, all other nations, all other races against the chosen people, BLACK Americans. So when I say Psalms 83, in case you didn't know, that's the whole Brother Big Judah brings this out. Brother Moriel, right? Brother Sly, right? Brother Big Levi, right? Go check them out, right? But like, that's what it is. Psalms 83 is the Confederate. They're all Confederate, bro. They're all Confederate. And I'm looking online and I'm seeing like, yo, the Most High has really awakened our people, because we now see, bro. I love to see it, even if they don't all the way got it. When I tell you the Father sent out that Spirit for us to chill the F out, people are questioning. I'm seeing our sisters like, yeah, why they not asking the Asian? What? I just see the Father at work, bro. I see our Mother, the Holy Spirit at work, bro. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. With that, I digress. Black Americans are the real children of Israel, the real Jews from the same tribe as Jesus Christ, or Yahushua, or Yahusha, or Yeshaya, or Yeshua. Same Black American man. Take a pick at this point. All praise to the Most High.
We keep getting told who to fear in this country, but the numbers tell a different story. For decades, Black people, immigrants, Muslims have been painted as the face of violence in this country. Politicians and the media have used these communities as scapegoats since forever, reinforcing a false narrative that keeps America afraid of the wrong people. The data actually proves the opposite. Time and time again, mass shootings and acts of domestic terrorism overwhelmingly come from white men. That fact is consistent across studies, but it's one the media is too scared to lead with. Capitalism needs white supremacy to survive. It thrives on division. It thrives on fear and hierarchy. By protecting whiteness and criminalizing everything else, the system keeps its power structure intact.
I want everybody to look at this comment right here. I'm going to say it again. I want everybody to look at this comment and read every single word. Shout outs to Daisy. She gets it 100%. That's exactly what it is. This is like playing Monopoly, sitting outside the board, the Monopoly board, watching everybody else pass go and then getting mad about the fact that everybody else is passing go and getting houses and getting hotels, getting everything else. Monopoly is in direct correlation to real life. If you don't know the rules of the game and you're not playing to the rules of the game, you would definitely lose, right? And so the problem with this game is not only are a lot not knowing the rules of the game, we got the people, some of our people aiding and helping other people and putting them in position. Because remember, we the majority in our communities. Let's be clear, we the majority, family. So when people say, oh, you threatened by the immigrant, no, they're not a threat. They fled their country. You know? They're not a threat. But the threat is the soft and sweet. We are the world Black Americans that want to, let's all build and let's all unity, let's all work together with people that don't want to work together. They're going to play the game up until they get success and then they delineate and say, as an immigrant, immigrants built this country. Then when they reach success, they're going to say, as an insert country American, thank you for this award when things go good, right? So it's the soft and sweet, we are the world Black American with no dignity and no self-respect for themselves, the small, minute group of them, that's pushing them up in positions of power, voting them in, doing these things that they don't know they undermining themselves politically and economically, right? Great comment, family, because this is all I talk about on this page. Economic development, right? Shopping at Black American-owned businesses, making sure we politically sound, checking the backgrounds of people. We just found out they colonizing soul food. This is crazy. Now we got to start asking people backgrounds on soul food, family. They colonizing every single area. And again, I'm not going to act like a lot of them are intentionally trying to what it is a lot of them coming from war-torn countries, so they are in survival mode. And the problem with people that's in survival mode is like a wild cat backed in the corner. What they're going to do? They're going to attack anything moving. So they are in survival mode, which means even if that means stepping on your neck to get where they got to get so they don't have to go back to that reality, they're going to step on your neck. See, the problem is, and this is my last point, we keep looking at everybody through our lens. You got to start looking at everybody through their lens. We keep thinking everybody's like us. Let's all come together. Let's kumbaya. Let's work together. Let's really build together. That's how we operate. People are not together in their own continent, in their own countries. They're not here to move the needle with you. They're not here to build with you. So we got to stop looking at people through our lens and start now seeing people for who they are. That's all I'm saying. Y'all have a good one. Key.
You're right. Race and blackness is just a program. It's not actually real. However, Black people are well known throughout creation because we represent the epitome of the human experience about what it is to be human, which is about being the ultimate alchemists. So it's more about the experience is very special, and it means a lot to all of existence because we model to the cosmos, to other beings, what is possible.
I feel like when you understand that slave owners were literally consuming our ancestors, it really contextualizes the icky feelings you get about how certain pieces of Black media get consumed by larger, wider audiences. I have this theory about what the real American dream is, and I'm going to break it down in this video. But when you just spell it out, it kind of sounds like a spell, like it sounds like some creepy, ritualistic shit. And I'm not trying to say there was some mysterious wizard cult leader behind the scenes like, oh, we need X, Y, and Z amount of Black blood. But at the same time, the only difference between a cult and a religion is how long you manage to stick around, especially when it centers the person. History, in a sense, is gyroscopic. There are often cycles within cycles within cycles, sometimes spinning together, sometimes spinning in opposite directions. And one of those cycles that I think doesn't get talked about enough is the fact that the motherfuckers who started the whole slave trade, folks in the Iberian Peninsula, had just got done with 800 years of Moorish rule. Some people still debate whether or not Moors would be considered black in a modern context, but you need only look at period paintings to know that there were many black Moors in leadership positions, and there were also many non-black Moors. It was mixed race, and moreover, they led a mixed race society. So Jews, Moors, all of these people, Christians, were all living in what is modern-day Spain, the Iberian Peninsula, in relative harmony. Until the Spanish took back over, Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand took back over, and then instantly we're on that bullshit. So Spanish Inquisition, they torture / expel most of the Jews from Spain. The same year they sail to the New World, discover there's a whole half of the planet they can do their bullshit on, and are part and parcel in beginning the slave trade in earnest, along with the Portuguese. So in my eyes, in very broad strokes, in 1492, we see the pendulum of history swing, not only from a historical perspective, but from a psychological perspective. All the bullshit that happened that year, that started that year, to me, came from a place of insecurity. And I think that insecurity, coupled with a continent that had been engulfed in warfare for the entirety of the Middle Ages, set the tone for everything that would follow. And is directly related to the reasons that we saw like a slave rebellion like Nat Turner's rebellion result in Nat Turner being beheaded, flayed, dissected, and then having his skin turned into purses and his bones turned into trophies. Like, what is that? Like, really, what is that? It's creatively sick. I want to say more, but before I lose you, let's weave in the American dream. Culturally, the US has the same issue that its economic system has. It wants unlimited life on a limited resource. We have an expansionist culture in this country. We're supposed to be the pioneers, forging new paths, breaking new ground. For most of the US's history, that expansion was westward. But then we ran out of land to steal. So then it became a colonial project. We got to expand beyond the borders of the continental US. But the world kind of got divided up as much as it could be, and we had what we had. So then it was space. We got to go to space. That's our unifying thing, the final frontier. Why all of these frontiers? Because there is no cultural bedrock for this country to fucking stand on. And nothing unifies like a common enemy or a common goal. So the US is constantly looking for new enemies and new goals to unify what is otherwise a random assortment of people. And the most central unifier to this country has been the African American population of America. Stay with me. Whiteness is not real. It's made up. Blackness is not real. Also made up. And because they are both constructs, the way that they function is largely immaterial and then proliferates in the material world. It's psychological, and the line between psychological and spiritual is very hazy. Put a pin in that. Europe had been at war for like a millennia. No one could fucking get along. Germany itself was probably like, 13 different states. England's at war with France. France is at war with England. The Gaelics are at war with, you know what I mean? It's all of these warring it's tribalism that's what it is, but it doesn't get called that because it's white people. So they needed a unifying force, and nothing unifies like a common enemy. The unifier is this concept of whiteness, juxtaposed against blackness. Blackness is what America pushed itself off of to make it what it is. So you might come to the United States as a German man, but you get baptized into the cult of whiteness, wash yourself of your Germanness, and just become white. And the promise is, if you do that, that no matter what, no matter how broke you were when you came over here, you will always be better off than the African American population of this country. It's a psychological wage. It's a badge. It's a gold sticker. You see what I'm saying? That's the American dream. The Irish came over here, they weren't white, but they became white through blackness. Italians became white through blackness, which is why so much of the most virulent racism that you saw, especially in the North, was coming from Irish and Italian communities, because they had proximity to blackness and they had to prove themselves. It's like a hazing. They have to push themselves into whiteness off of blackness. But again, pendulums. There's this weird inverse relationship because blackness is portrayed as this bestial thing. So black masculinity and femininity both being associated with the peak of masculinity, but within that there's two different types of sexual vitality that are both lauded as being almost superhuman, right? And we live in a white supremacist male patriarchal society, so the whole center is supposed to be masculinity. So at the same time, the thing that they're pushing against is also the pinnacle of what they're claiming to be. And there's this weird tension. It's almost like a fetish. And psychologically, there's so much to unpack there in terms of like how sexuality and fetish are tied up in the American dream and anti-blackness. But Let's skip over that for now. So you get baptized, right? You enter the cult of whiteness and you shed yourself of all your identity, all the thousands of years of culture that made you who you were. And you're just a blank slate. And you see the thing you pushed off against and see that there is still a culture there. And all of a sudden, there's this deep craving. Like the thing that you were pushing against that you claimed to hate in order to get what you always thought you wanted also has all the stuff that you're now missing. And that's why we see over and over again that African American culture specifically, but also black culture generally, gets pushed away and considered gross, ghetto, savage, whatever by white people, until after a while they're like, well, actually, I really want to be a part of this thing. And then they try to take it over. Jazz, rock and roll, techno, hip hop, everything. Whiteness as a concept creates a hungry ghost within you. It's a vacuum. It's a black hole, very ironically. And so, that's what they're saying when they say that, like, whiteness hurts everybody. No one benefits. And moreover, whiteness is a state of mind. It's not a physical thing. Because again, the Irish weren't white, the Italians weren't white, and now even in a modern context, you might see, for instance, in some instances, a West African might come to the US and understand the subtext of don't associate yourself with African Americans. Because that's the American dream. That's the subtext. In an attempt to join whiteness, East Asians attempt to join whiteness. African Americans attempt to join whiteness. Black men attempt to join whiteness. Everyone's trying to join. But the thing is, this cult takes everything from you. And it's only once you join that you realize what you've lost. Or rather, your children realize what you've lost. Whiteness is a cult. Everyone can join. Black people are delicious. I'll explain. Last thing I'll say, it's interesting from a physics perspective that whiteness requires all other colors to exist, but blackness requires no colors. That is to say, if we want to move towards a post-racial world, we all have to move towards blackness mentally as opposed to white.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. I just wanted to put this into place that, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again and again and again, that I'm proud of black people. I'm proud of the decisions that black people have made. Remember, when you try to look at the relationship between black people and how black people how long they have come, because you realize that all these groups of people have been just riding along black greatness, black resilience. They don't know what really black people are made of. For you to see a black person standing at the point where they are standing right now, it is because they made certain decisions that if it were you, you couldn't have made. Remember, the things that black folks have usually fought for, it served everyone, right? It served everybody. I don't want to start counting them. Just one affirmative action. It served a lot of white women than even black women themselves, right? It also served Asians. It also served all this other group of people. And this tells you it is because of the effort. It is because of the fight that black Americans have given. And now black people stepping aside. Black people setting aside sends a message to these people that, you know what, we are on our own. And so when they see that they are on their own, they start being responsible. And one thing that I'll say, and I'll say it out front, maybe it might sound bad to a person who's watching this. Majority of these folks didn't take accountability. Why? Because they left everything to black people. It's like you're living with a person, you cook, you prepare food, you buy food, and then they're just going to be waiting to eat the food. But they don't know the process of making this food. They don't know the process of getting this food. So it means that this is a person that will not appreciate your efforts. And so this is how the efforts of black folks was never appreciated, because these folks took it for granted, because every time something happened, black people were the first to go and show up. Black people were the first to go and show up, so that all these things that we are seeing happening had to happen. But black people, when black folks decided to step aside, when black people decided to say that, you know what, we are not joining this cause because it's not worth it. That's when it rang, something rang in the minds of these people that really America needs a revolution. Because for the longest time, what they are right now calling a revolution is what black folks have been going on the street for the long time, is what black folks have been dying on the streets talking about. But it didn't bother them because the problem didn't knock their door, or at least they had somebody that really helped them with that. So they never saw any big significance of, doing that or doing what they're doing. All of these things only came to make sense when now black folks had to step aside. They realized the emptiness. They realized that there's so much work that they need to do. Why? Because the work was being done by black people, but right now they are understanding that there's so much work left to be done. There's so much work that they need to do that really determines a lot of things in the United States. And black people stepping aside really exposed all these people. It exposed how bad decisions these people usually make and fending themselves to black people so that they can find a person that they can run to when things go wrong. But black people say that, no, we ain't going to be doing that to you. We've been doing this for the longest time. So I think it's just time for you to understand that black people aren't doing shit for you. So brothers and sisters, I had a few things to say about that, but please, let me know what you think about this, right? I really want to know what you think about this, because for the longest time, if black people hadn't not to step aside and let things be, it would have been different. But still, all has not been done. America still can save itself, but black people have to step aside because the amount of effort that they have put really, really matters. So brothers and sisters, I'm gonna let you let me know what you think about this video. And as you know, I'm your host and presenter Dog Stories, but until then, let me see you on my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.